This is the scary part, putting holes in the mast. I don't like making holes in the mast.
3, 2, 1, go!
Why do you look so ridiculous?
Okay, the time has come. We cannot avoid this job any longer. We really need to jump in and clean the holes of this boat.
I really don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's a horrible job, especially if you don't do it for months like we do. So yeah, there's like little shrimpy creatures that like hang out there.
They're like the things whales eat. They're tiny little shrimpy shaped things.
So it just looks like a brown carpet on the hull of the boat, but when you scrape them off or brush them off, they like a cloud of them swim away from the boat, and they either just swim straight back onto it again, or they just swim onto the nearest thing, which is usually me.
Into your hair, your beard,
Yeah.
and yeah.
They stick everywhere. Like, it's in the hair that's really the grossest.
And they bite. They're nibbly.
Yeah, we've come out with a few little bites before. So we're trying to like cover ourselves up so that they can't attack us.
It's like a new trial. We never used to do it this bad, but we'll see if it works.
We've got earpieces as well to like stop
Earplugs?
them. That's the word.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't earphones. So yeah, hopefully they won't like get in our ears and just like set up shop there.
Ooh,
So yeah, it's really gross, but we have to do it. So let's
there we
do
go. Okay, I'm getting hot. Let's go.
it. You look great.
Like the shrimp are winning.
We said these little krill things get everywhere. Here's your proof. This is disgusting. These guys, half of them are still alive. Bri is just finishing up. Yep, equally covered in nasties. They are everywhere and they are disgusting. Another long day in paradise.
Look at the floor over here. It's just covered in these little creepy crawly shrimpy guys. It's absolutely disgusting. Eesh.
So we woke up this morning and there is barely a breath of wind. Alas, it is time to get on with a project that we've been wanting to do forever, which is putting up our radar. It sounds very flash, but putting up a radar is basically good for us because we can keep track of weather when we're under passage. We can see storms coming in from further away. We can also see other boats, and we might be able to, on occasion, see things like marker buoys or obstructions in the water. So my job today is to head all the way up to the first spreader with a ton of tools, and we're going to try and fit our radar platform, and if we're lucky, we'll manage to run the cables.
So this is the most technical part of what we're doing today. We need to feed a line down through the mast. So we've got a really, really skinny, lightweight line, and we've tied some bike chain onto the bottom of it. I then sit at the bottom with a magnet taped onto a wooden spoon, and I'm going to poke the magnet through the hole, and hopefully, as the chain comes down, the magnet grabs it and fishes it back through. Then we can use that line to pull the cable back down through.
So Bri thinks the most technical part of mounting a radar, AIS system, Wi-Fi extension, and 3 different deck lights is fishing with a small magnet to find a bike chain.
Oh, I got it. Look at that. Technical wizardry. the cable! Woohoo!
If there's one major benefit about being up the mast this long is that after a while you just start taking in some of the views, and seriously, how beautiful is this? It's amazing. This anchorage has probably got like half the boats it had in it when we first arrived. So everybody started heading south for the season because this is now technically hurricane season, or at least it's about to be. So most people are sailing away from here now, and we are hanging on trying to get these works done. So hopefully we won't be here too much longer. We'll just keep watching the number of the boats going down and down and down, and that's kind of our indicator for how late we are. So next up, we need to mark up the bracket, I guess, and then drill that out.
So this is the exciting part.
This is the scary part, putting holes in the mast. I don't like making holes in the mast.
I actually need to work out how to get the radar platform up to Iain. We didn't want to take it all up in one go just because there'd be too much swinging around under the chair. So, oh, I thought that was tied on. I need to tie it on, and then I'm going to try and use our little flag line, which is tiny, to hoist it up, and hopefully he'll be able to reach that. So when it gets up to the top, Iain has to mark out these 6 holes on either side, drill them through, and then somehow hold this in place and rivet it before taking the actual platform off and fixing these kind of wing pieces on. And then we have to hoist the radar somehow. I'm scared of that part, haven't thought about it yet.
Hopefully they're level. Rivet 1. Rivet 2. Boy, I hope this is straight. That one hit me right in the neck. We got a radar platform.
Iain was drilling holes through the mast, and obviously the tiny metal shards are flying everywhere. A lot of them land on the deck, so I was being careful to stay out the way and shield my eyes, but forgot to close the bedroom hatch. So now my fun job is to get all the metal shards out of the bed. Yay! Somehow, we need to get this up the mast. It looks super heavy. Oh, it's actually not too bad. It's just kind of bulky. So, because it doesn't have any moving parts inside, it's actually more lightweight than other radars that you can get, but we're gonna have to, like, I don't know, build some form of hangy basket so that we can hoist it up. And then, yeah, there's literally just these 6 bolts underneath, the only things that are gonna hold it on. I can't even get it out of the bag.
It's so shiny.
Bed sheet. We've just tied string around it and hoping that these grooves mean that it doesn't slide around as it's being lifted up. We're gonna give it a go. So we've done the difficult bit of actually lifting the radar dome up to the top. Now, of course, the wind is picking up, so Iain has to try and untie the strings without dropping the dome before he's put the bolts in and connect the cables at the same time. So yeah, this is the like scary, hairy moment where we really, really pray that nothing goes wrong.
Okay, 1 bolt in, but that was stressful.
Why are you smiling?
So it's been 3 days work, and I don't know how many times up the mast, but we have, I think, got AIS and radar.
Yay!
Yeah, so I've just closed up. I need to still close up where we've put the AIS transponder unit, which we've hidden away down there. But I think we can go see it on the plotter, which is quite exciting. This plotter does all sorts of fancy stuff, but it should be as simple as pressing chart. No way.
Look at that prettiness.
So like you got the radar, we also even have, oh, it just disappeared, an AIS target. Flyer, your AIS is still on. How cool is that?
We can see everything.
So like these are boats. That's a dinghy. That's ridiculous.
Oh, that's so cool.
Okay, so when we came here, we came in the dark for most of it. and we had no idea if anyone was around about us. Now we have radar, that means we can see anyone we don't expect, and weather. But we also have AIS, which is kind of like when GPS shares with everyone else, so it lets us know when other boats are nearby. So we'll no longer be blind in the dark. We can actually see in the dark now. And we can see big weather systems coming as well. So if it's gonna like suddenly start raining heavily, we'll know.
Yes!
That's insane.
So it's time to take a break.
Yeah, so we're gonna stop drilling holes in the boat for 5 minutes because we heard of something really cool.
Yeah, there's a local chandlery here called Island Waterworld, and every so often they do these kind of talks for people, and this month they have one on boat safety.
The talks are usually set up for cruisers, and you can totally tell because they offer free drinks. But they've also promised to do a demonstration of life rafts today in the lagoon just behind the store.
Yeah, so I think they're going to try and inflate some old ones that are out of date, and we're just going to go and see what happens.
Anybody out here who's ever been in a life raft? Please raise your hand. Here we have what's called a canister. We have the orange one, which is a valise, and then a small canister behind it. In life rafts, they have a limited lifetime. So if your raft is really old, please keep in mind the seams may not hold the air as well as they used to. First one we're going to open up is this orange bag. It was last serviced in 2007. We don't know how well it's going to work, but we're putting on a 50-50 for this one. Franklin is going to throw this in the water. Okay, good. There we go. It's doing something. I mean, here we are, way past its best before date, but here goes a good bonus for Switlick. It actually does blow up a little bit. We're going to open up another one, then we get the volunteers to show you how easy it is to get in or not. That's not easy to lift. If you cannot lift a life raft, you cannot leave the boat. He's going to pull the line. A life raft is something you climb into, not down to. So if the boat is floating, do not leave the boat. Okay, let's see what happens with this one. Okay. Okay, this opened up quite nicely. Now, do we have any volunteers here? You want to go show us how you can go into it? We looked for it. It is 5 or 6 years past its due date. And surprisingly enough, most life rafts, even after the expiry date, will work. If it's past the service date for a year or two, hey, big applause, there we are in the life raft.
So inside there's loads of stuff that you would need if you were actually in an emergency situation, and everything is tied on so that you can't lose it. You can choose to some extent what you want. So there is a knife tied on to the outside that will float. There are these oars that you can assemble and then steer yourself a little bit, although it's difficult. And there's also a ditch bag with loads of like torches and flares and things that you can attract attention if you need to. So it's a really cool setup, and it's really cool to be able to experience it.
Just imagine 5 more people just joining you in that. So a life raft is not designed to be comfortable, it's designed to survive you. Now, on this particular one, the lid is kind of a bit loose because the straps came off. This is our 12-man life raft. 1, 2, 3, go! This is a very nice raft. It has got an insulating blanket on the inside, so this is meant for cold weather.
Then I just managed to swim over to a 12-man life raft. So this one is absolutely huge. Look at it. There's so much space in here. Again, it had everything in it. There was loads of first aid kits. There was a fishing line and hooks and things, a tin opener, knives, everything you would need to be able to survive. Like, they just said, oh, does anyone want to jump in the water and actually have a look in them? So it's like, yes, always.
The thing is, they then left you in there for a while, which is a bit weird.
They did. Yeah, I could have a really good look at what was in there, take everything apart, and then I could like climb into one of the other ones as well. So I got to go in one of the 6-man ones and the 12-man one as well. And the 12-man is absolutely huge. It's just crazy. Yeah. But I mean, even the 6-man, if there were 6 people in there, It's not massively cramped. I mean, fair enough if you're in there for 2 days, but you could definitely fit 6 people in
The
there.
thing is, they were saying that interesting point, which is if there's 2 people like us, then a 4-man is as big as we should go.
Yeah, because there's just so much windage, the whole thing will just start rolling and we wouldn't be heavy enough to actually like hold it down in the waves.
We have an 8-man right now and it's way too heavy and it's 10 years out of date.
Yeah, so that's definitely doing absolutely nothing.
Well, especially now that we've seen an example of one that's, what, 3 years out of date and it's already deflating over there, so.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to think through what you'd want to put inside it as well. Like, they're all so different because you just get to choose what you think would be helpful.
I didn't realize when Renee was talking that you can actually choose what you put inside the life raft.
Yeah, there's another reason for why you should get it recertified and repacked, because you can actually check what's inside and put things in that are specific to you, which does make a lot of sense.
Makes loads of sense. So, like, we can put a phone in there, we could put phone charger, we could have like internet connection, get a small stove, you could have a TV.
Oh dear.
Laptop, iPad, movies.
I think I should be in charge of this decision.
Okay. But either way, the point is, having seen this demonstration, because rarely do you actually get to see these life rafts inflated.
Yeah.
Now we can see that, yeah, getting a bigger is not always better, for one. Out of date can be a serious issue for 2. And what's in it is going to make an absolute make or break for your
That's
time.
almost more important than what your life raft is like, I think.
Every day is a school day.
Yeah, that was really fun. So we were trying to work out how we could get the platform level, and I helpfully offered to send a spirit level up our flag line and then realized that we're on a boat and we live on the sea and the sea moves and that really wouldn't tell us anything. So we're just going by eye and hopefully it'll work.